Hi, I'm David. I own and operate Country Whatnot Gardens here outside of Rochester, Indiana, which is about an hour south of the Michigan state line. I grow 25 different species and varieties of bamboo, including this Phyllostachys parvifolia directly behind me. And it's a new division of culms that are actually a few years old. So the culms themselves are a few years old, but the division was just taken and set in last fall. And I think a lot of times when people see a plant like this, they think, oh, that would fit in a very narrow and upright space and it would grow like a tree. I see so many people referring to these online as bamboo trees. That is a huge peeve of mine. This is not a tree. This is a culm. And it's a piece of grass that becomes an enormous chunk of sod. It is a huge peeve of mine when people call those trees. It is not a tree. It does not grow like a tree. It is hardened off. It is done growing. That is it. To become larger, it has to produce larger shoot. It does not stay like this. This is just a division. This is a starter plant. It becomes that, and even that is not full size. That's young. That's only 9 years old or so. I mean, this plant can become 40 plus feet tall, this particular species, and it can fill up this space. I mean, ideally, I want it to along this walk, but I have people contact me, honest to goodness, wanting to put large bamboo like this only 10 feet from a structure. These culms, especially this far north, do not always stay up there. This culm here could lop clear out to here as soon as it gets a weight of snow and ice on it until it melts and pops back upright into an upright position there. And also, I mean, those culms themselves, yes, bamboo plant is long-lived, but the individual culms are not. Those culms will eventually come down. And, you know, you're dealing with a plant, 40 feet high. Just for reference, that silo up there, that silo is 40 foot tall. And for perspective, I don't know if I can show more of it there above the bamboo, but it's a ways off, and you can still see it over that bamboo. I mean, 40 feet would be a tremendous culm to be coming down. So you have to allow room for that, and I think people just they forget that. They get this notion in their mind that bamboo is a tree. It's not a tree. It is not a tree. And I wish people would quit calling them trees. I saw it again here. That's probably why I'm so wound up about it. I saw it again just the other day. Somebody saying bamboo tree this and bamboo tree that. No. It's a no. It's a grass. But these culms will eventually come down. And people aren't allowing that for space in the planting. And I feel like it needs pointed out again that bamboo needs space, and it's not to be crammed into a narrow upright space despite how it looks, because this grove started as a single culm 9 years ago. And also there's other reasons that culms can come down, not just due to age and natural, dying off of old culms, replacement with new culms, and so forth. Okay, here, case in point. There are 4 culms of this Phyllostachys rusticata spectabilis that have just fallen over. Sometimes they just fall over. They break off near the base. Sometimes you don't know why. They might have been injured when they were in shoot stage, and then maybe they just get so heavy later on that they just fall over. You can see how it withered. This side of the culm was damaged probably when it was in shoot stage, and so it only has this narrow band of live tissue running along this top side here that is feeding this, keeping it alive. It needs cut off. And this one here, something weakened it and it fell over. The same with these. Let's see if I can get back here. Same with these two right there. So it can happen. People aren't taking everything into consideration when they think of planting bamboo. I mean, it can come down, and then they want to cram it in. I had somebody here just a short time back wanting to cram bamboo in to a property where it was only going to be about 8 to 10 feet from their neighbor's house. I couldn't believe it, but it's happened multiple times lately, and I feel this is something that's educational and needs to be said, because bamboo is not a tree, and it aggravates me. It is a huge chunk of sod. This is one plant. I don't even know if I can back up far enough to show this. This started out as just one or two culms, just a single plant, over 20 years ago. And you can see, even with containment, mowing around it and everything, the grove is as big as I let it get. The grove is this size because that's how big I let it get. It would be a lot bigger if I hadn't mowed off all the new shoots around it that come up over the years. It would be a huge, massive grove. And it's all one plant. It's all interconnected. It's a chunk of sod. And everybody thinks that bamboo is this narrow, upright tree. And I know I'm on this kick today about people calling it a tree, but I feel like it needs said, because I'm still seeing it out there. Bamboo tree this, bamboo tree that. It is not a tree. It is a piece of grass. It's just a single culm on a much larger plant. Don't be putting bamboo any place, the big ones, speaking of, any place you wouldn't put a huge shade tree, because the root system of bamboo is just as big laterally. Of course, it doesn't go as deep as a shade tree, of course, but laterally, it's as big as a shade tree, and people don't take that into consideration. I mean, it gets huge. We're dealing with a massive, massive plant, and I want people to know the particulars of planting bamboo, because right here, I mean, goodness, how far out from the grove is this? Let me step it off. I'm curious. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is close to, these are laying close to 12 feet out from the edge of the grove. Now, if somebody had planted that 8 to 10 feet out from a structure, these would be laying against, swaying on, and scraping somebody's siding or their roof, or rubbing the stones or asphalt off of their shingles, or if it's a single-story home, or scraping their siding, or scraping against a window, or who knows what. I do my part on these videos, but I'm slowly, I think, getting everything answered and everything, but it could take years, honestly, because it seems like there's always some new scenario that comes up that somebody wants to stick bamboo into. If you're going to put it in a space in a suburban area, it needs a root barrier. A trench, or something, because unless you have acreage, it's too large of a plant to maintain by mowing like I do here. I live on 20 acres. The garden and nursery is 4.2 acres of that. I do grow 25 different bamboos on that 4.2 acres. I have a 26th one, actually, that I don't often speak of, out in another field, which is a French lick clone of our native Arundinaria gigantea. I have 3 clones of that, actually. But yeah, I mean, you've got to take things into consideration. I mean, what is it? What they say? What goes up must come down, right? Right? It's true. But anyway, I hope I didn't seem too much on a rant, but I was just a little bit taken aback with some of the things that have come up in the past couple of weeks that I've been contacted about. Especially, I mean, not that I haven't heard the same thing over the course of several years, but it seems like just more and more lately. I mean, I hear all the time from people too who want to plant this over a leach field for their septic system, and I'm like, are you nuts? Don't plant anything over your leach field for your septic system. No roots belong there over that. Stop it. But they do. They say, oh, we had to cut down all these trees because of our leach field and septic system. That is a scenario that has played out, and I've been asked about many times over the years. So many times I couldn't even count. There's constantly somebody wanting to plant bamboo over their septic system. And I just want to say, no, don't. It's a disaster waiting to happen. You do that. Oh my gosh. But they do. They come, they say, oh, we just had to cut down these trees to have our leach field put in, and we were hoping to be able to plant bamboo over it. And I'm thinking, well, keep hoping and be careful what you hope for. But yeah, nothing goes there. I don't care if it's a bush, a tree, or bamboo. Nothing. I feel, why do I have to say this? Nothing belongs planted over your leach field or your septic system. But anyway, it's just, it always amazes me, some of the things that, I mean, I always welcome people to ask me any question at all, but I reserve that right to address it in a video. I won't name names, I won't name locations, but I will address it for the benefit of all, for anybody else out there who is thinking the same question, so that they don't fall into the same mistake. If you're going to grow bamboo, you've got to do it right. You need to either give it lots and lots of space, have acreage, put in an in-ground root barrier, do an open trench so that the roots grow in there and you can snip them off when they grow in there, or a raised bed, or keep it in a pot, or something. I mean, there's many options. I mean, you can grow bamboo almost anywhere if you're willing to do it correctly. One bamboo or another. Maybe perhaps not the big sun-loving species if you have all shade, but I mean, there are bamboos that will live in the shade. Not the big ones. You'd have a plant about that tall and real sparse and spindly if you tried to grow one of these big ones in the shade. But an example of a shade-loving bamboo would be this Sasa oshidensis over here underneath this Yoshino cherry. Big, nice, tropical-looking leaves, but it is a temperate plant. You can see how large these leaves are. Real nice, lush, green. But to expect to cram that plant, which I am standing a good 50 feet from and still can't fit it all into my screen. There we go. That plant, that one plant there, that is one plant. Each individual culm is not its own plant. It's a piece of a plant. This entire thing is one plant. But I just feel like it needs said again, because these questions keep coming up. And I hope that if there's anybody considering any of these scenarios, whether it's planting it over a septic system or planting it next to structures, that they see this video and realize that bamboo does not grow that way. It doesn't. Yes, each individual culm is narrow and upright, sure, which can be brought down due to natural circumstances. Either, something gets in there and chews it and weakens it, or ice and snow bring it down, or old age will bring it down, and, in 5 to 7 years, even if it doesn't top kill during winter, it's still going to get old and come down. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. I tried to keep it as lighthearted as I could, even though it's kind of, I'm just constantly taken aback by some of the things that are proposed about bamboo. But if you enjoyed the video, or at least found it useful, please give me a like, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, thank you for stopping by, and take care.